Okay, this video is about true door hinges. How do you know when you need to replace your door hinges? How you know is when you see the door hinge doing that. And I don't know if you can hear it, but when it's doing that, the door hinge is time to be replaced. Also, these doors are hitting. You can adjust some of that out of it, but I don't know where they're at. But basically, the door will end up falling off if you don't change this door hinge. So, and it also does not close. It should automatically. It's spring loaded. It's supposed to close by itself. So that tells you right there that this one also does not close by itself. So these door hinges are shot, and they're done in a number of different ways. So excuse me. So that's how you tell if a door hinge needs to be replaced. Refrigerator doors don't close. So and they hit and everything I just said. Okay, so that's that. Let me set up for doing a door hinge change on this. This is just a 2-door prep table for true. This is true here. Right here, true refrigerator. Model number. Let's see how old this thing is. I think these are original hinges. So let me see if I can turn on the light. See if we can get the serial number on that. Okay, there's the. There we go. That's the light on that. So it uses a. What do we got? A 4440 in this thing. Yeah, a little 2-door, a little 3rd horse in there. And there's the serial. So I can see that. I'll run it. Put a screen grab up to see how old it is. These are also a little tag here. Let's say, let me see. Not intended for. Should say not intended for use in a room over 86 degrees. So these are not approved for a cook line. Unless your cook line's really cold. So, anyways. Alright. And here's a better shot of the door hinge. Now you can tell the door hinge is worn out. So all we're going to need to do is remove these 2 screws. These are 3/8. Memory serves me right. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if we can get this packet out of here. Okay. First thing you do is you unscrew these bolts right here. Just take them out. They're going to be, one of them's going to be spring loaded, so it might be riding against the screw. I prefer to do them with a hand, a 3/8 nut driver, blue handle, because if you use a drill, the threads that it goes up into this case are kind of cheaply done, so you can kind of feel it more. Anyways, I'm going to need to stop the video because I think it's binding on that screw. So, all right, you get it anyways. Okay, when you get done undoing the screws, it's going to come right out like this. Pay attention to the little spacer shim up here. Sometimes I even need to add like an old one of these stainless, these metal pieces. I get the whole kit, not just the cartridge, because I always find that these metal things are worn out. But I save the metal things to use as spacers just in case I need to. Sometimes the doors aren't shimmed properly from the factory. So, but anyways, keep that. You're going to need that. And just pay attention to how you take the parts apart, you know, how you lay them out. And so the door, it just comes out like that, and the door will just lift right off. It just lifts right off of the pin, off the, just like that. Nothing fancy to it. Make sure you're doing this, turn the refrigerator off so you don't suck in warm air into the box. Okay, you want to pay attention to how you take it apart. So this will be a little metal washer like this. This all comes in the kit, in the new kit. You can just lay them out like that if you want to. And you got your little spring clip. You have a washer. Little plastic washer right here. And like I said, just be careful how you take them apart so you put it back the way it's originally came apart. Okay? You might be able to, I'll have to put in there where you could get a diagram to make sure it's put together correctly. So anyways, now what you got to do is this whole packet comes out of the door. It comes straight up. So you just undo these two screws and see if you can get a little something under here and pry it up. And once you get it moving, then you can get it out of there. Sometimes these are stuck inside the door. Hopefully this is not. When they foam in these doors at the factory, I find some of them are stuck. The foam is stuck to the cartridge. In that case, what you have to do is what I use is you can use a little propane torch or a MAP gas torch. You know, just a little small one, not a welding kit, you know, but you just want to heat up the surface right here, or where the cartridge is. Cartridge is a little square cartridge, goes in here, and you just want to heat up these two sides to melt, kind of, just to get it warm enough to where the foam inside gets warm and where it becomes gooey, and you can get this thing out of here. So that's the only way I've found to get it out of there. If you guys have any other tricks, put them in the comments if you would, please. I would really appreciate it. Or any tricks on getting these cartridges out. Sometimes they can be a pain in the rear. Okay, I like to take a wire brush and do that with them to clear off the area where I have to work to. So that's what I like to do. Okay. I just got to see if I can get something under that and get it up a little bit. And once you can get it up a little bit with a razor blade or a really thin screwdriver, then you can get it going. I just thought about it, but if I had a slide hammer, I might get a little slide hammer, and if you could get the slide hammer in that screw, that would be the way to do it. Just thought about that today, but you can see how this is all worn out. That's the part. See if I can get the light on that. Should have. Okay, we got the light. You can see that thing's all kind of wasted. you can also this part should be able to see. I'll clean it off. See if it should be all. Okay, what I like to do is this has always worked for me. Is I get a razor blade knife like this, and I slide it under this edge right here, and I just pop it up ever so slightly, being careful not to break the razor blade, of course. And then I have a little very thin screwdriver that I get under this edge, and sometimes you might bust this end off because it's just pot metal, it's just crap metal, but it helps you get a little bit of upward force going on this. And I put the screw back in, and I'm gonna try and pull on it and see if I can get it to come out of there. And usually what I'll do is I'll put the door between my legs. It's on a carpet here, and you just try to see if you can get some movement out of this thing. And let me have at it and see if I can get some pliers to see if I can pull the thing out of there. Where are my pliers? And we're gonna need, I think they're in this kit right now. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. Nope. This one ain't gonna be an easy one, I don't think. We'll see. Anyways, so I gotta. Okay, I got the little son of a gun out of there. I did have to use a torch. This is a MAP gas torch that I have. What I did was take the MAP gas torch, and I'll show you, but I'm not going to actually do it. But I just went up and down this side and up and down that side. I'm not going to get it, you know, but I went, you know, just like this, like that, a little bit of warmth, and the stainless takes up heat real quick, so I got it hot enough to where it doesn't, because if you get it too warm, I've never done it, but on other stainless I have, it'll tweak, it'll contort and everything. So you just very lightly, you know, like 2 or 3 seconds on each side, and that kind of makes the stuff break loose. Whatever it does, the foam is stuck to these things. Stupid True, in all their wisdom, they don't put some sort of a mold release or a grease or something around these cartridges, which, and what I did is I got a pair of pliers on it. I put the screw in so I got something to bite on, and just wiggle it, and, you know, a hammer on the end a little bit, try to get something under it, and it, you know, it's a little, ever so slight little indent, but ever so slight. But anyways, you finally get it out, and you can see where the foam is stuck to the cartridge. But I found that the heat, just a little bit of heat, see all that glue? See that? Just freaking stupid True. They don't put some sort of a grease on there so that when the foam goes in there, it doesn't adhere to the cartridge. True, if you're listening, you need to grease up this cartridge with something. Some food grade grease would be nice before you foam these things, because you're foaming the damn cartridge into the door, or just, I don't know. Yeah, so figure out another way to do it, True, because this makes it a real mother son of a gun. But you finally will get it out with a little perseverance. So that's that. I'm going to put the next one in, and all right, I'll put the new one in. while you got the door out, I'd recommend doing, you know, good time to do door gaskets if you need door gaskets on them. This one, yeah, it actually does, but not terrible, but it isn't. Once they're split like this, it won't pass health department, but so yeah, this is definitely needs a gasket. So, but I recommend once you got the door off like this, the only time the bottom of these doors will get cleaned is when you're doing a gasket or doing a see the bottom of the door, they're all like that. They get to be like that from like orange juice or whatever spills on the door and runs underneath, you know, it just drips over time. So you put them in the sink, hot water and scrubby thing, and let's see if we can't get this cleaned up. Watch that you don't lose this. This is your bottom cap for the door to ride on the door, on that little pin on the door, and just, you might as well take it out so you don't lose it and set it up somewhere safe. Okay, so that's that. Let's see if we can wash this door. Just give it a scrub. Okay, so gave the door a good scrubbing. I like to clean them up nice. I think it shows some pride in my work, and I just like to do it as nice as I can if I can, you know. It doesn't take that much, you know, it only took me 5 or 10 minutes to scrub the inside of the door, scrub the top of the door where the hinge goes in there, side of the door, bottom of the door is as good as it's going to get, because the orange juice actually has ate into the stainless. So that's what happens if you don't clean the bottom of your doors, customers. So run a green scrubby pad with some soapy water across the bottom of your doors occasionally, so you don't get holes in the bottom of your door. So I did the side edge too. I also scrub the handles, and you'll find a lot of grime in the actual corner edges, where right here. And I use a little wire brush, little wire brush, and just give it a scrub to get the grime out of those corners, you know, and it cleans it up pretty good. So I missed a little spot right there, but a hell of a lot better than it was. That's for damn sure. Let's put this little dog back together. Okay, these are the Hinge Packets. You get them from RHS. 61-119 is your left hinge complete kit. 61-165 is a complete kit for the right door. So the cartridge packs are interchangeable. The only thing that's different is the metal piece, the L bracket, this bracket, whether it's a left or a right. Everything else is the same. Right. Okay, this is what you get in the complete kit. You get your cartridge, of course. Like I said, they're both the same, left or right door. The only difference is this L bracket right here. You get the complete everything. This little D washer, this little square washer, which is really important. They get really worn out. I don't know if they come just when you order the cartridge. I've never ordered just the cartridge. I always do the whole shebang. Anyway, so you get the bottom thing, and this is usually the bottom one. The new bottom one is wrong. It's always yeah, I've never found it to be right. So it's too big, and these ones are flush. So I'll turn on the light, I think. Okay, needed some light. Anyways, so I never have used the plastic piece, but everything else you use the new screw. Don't lose that. The door spring, over limit, max stopper. Little plastic washers. Yeah. Okay. So this, like I said, it comes with the kit. You get the new screws for holding the cartridge in, just in case they're in bad shape, your old ones or whatever. So For you guys that order just the cartridge alone, all you get is just the cartridge, or do you get any screws or anything in it? Put it in the comments if you would. Appreciate it. Thanks. All right, let me put this thing in. I am going to put some waterproof grease. This is what they use. You can get this in Home Depot. It's $1 or $2. It's like a Vaseline type of. It's actually it's I think it's silicone grease. So, anyways, I'm gonna put a little of this on here on the sides of this thing so it slides in the hole a little easier. And that's pretty much it. This stuff is made for putting together faucets for plumbing, so it's food safe and everything. So that's why I'm using that. Okay, so that's what it is. You can get it at Home Depot in the plumbing section with replacement stems and stuff for plumbing stuff for your faucets in that section. Okay, let's get this thing together. Okay, lubed it up. Just a thin coat of that silicone stuff, and hopefully she goes in nice. It looks like it's got some of that rubber on the bottom. You got to pick some of that rubber out of the bottom. They put some stuff in there, so I want to pick some of that out. Okay, I put the new Phillips screws in. I put an ever so slight on the tip of the screw, a little bit of anti-seize, so it lubricates the hole. Makes a nice difference. Don't use a power drill. Do these things with a hand screwdriver. I just find that you can ruin some stuff if you do it with power drills. Okay, everything's in there. We got a little bit of that grease. Looks like it just came out, that waterproof grease. So we're all down in there. Nice. Should be good to go. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, I gotta open the other cut open the other bag. Use scissors, of course, to open the bags. Okay, back in a minute. Okay, kind of the bottom piece is El Grunjo. Obviously, I'm gonna go in the sink and try to clean it up a bit. So, we've got a nice clean door, fresh hinge. Using my battery charger thing. See how that works while taking video because I'm running out of battery. Old phone. Anyways, all right, let's clean this up a bit. Okay, my little wire brush. I made quick work of this. Gives it a nice little cross hatching. So wire brush is the hot ticket on this little wire brush. And also got to hit this with a little bit of cleanup wire brush and green pad and some soapy, and try and do the hinge, the surface here a bit. The only time it's going to get done is when we're doing hinges or door gaskets, so you got to be the one to do it. So it's real difficult with the door on it, you know, so that's why it doesn't get done. So. Okay. So got the bottom cleaned up, little bowl, soapy, hot water, wire brush, green pad, scrub it away. Do the inner door frame piece from about here. Well, actually, you can do all the way if you want, but the reason they can't, this is the hinge side, so this side never gets cleaned by the customer because it's a real bear to get your hand between there. So to clean the hinge side up, just do the whole thing. It doesn't take about 5 minutes. So anyways, so let's get it back together. All right. Okay. Reassembling the top of the door hinge part. Anyway, so this goes plastic, spring clip, plastic, then the steel washer, and then this part, the spring clip part, always faces the inside of the door, and this just goes on like that, and then lock washer and the screw right here, lock washer and screw, and tighten her down and you're good. Always make sure when you tighten it down that you have enough clearance too between here and here. I have had one over the years that has hit. This part, that metal tab that sticks down was too long when they made it at the factory, so I had to use my 4-inch grinder, you know, and just grind it down so it cleared. So that's the only thing you have to be careful of. And make sure you get that screw good and tight, and only use a hand screwdriver and just get it real good and tight. And if you wanted to, you could put some like blue thread locker on there if you wanted to, because those screws can come loose. Okay, all right, thanks for watching. Click like on the video and subscribe. Thanks, bye. Okay, let's take the plastic piece and put it in the bottom of the door. A little tap. I don't silicone them in or anything like that, because you might want to take them out for cleaning. They usually don't fall out when you just kind of stay in, so that's okay there. And there's the screw, and you just get on it, make sure that screw's tight, make sure that both of these are good and tight, and you're good to go. Then you just set the door on the pin, move it into place. Remember, there's a spacer that goes on the top here, and then you're going to have to preload this with your hand to line up one screw. Put that screw in first, then put the other one in, you know, loose behind it, and make sure it's all in place and aligned on the door, and there you go. All right, thanks for watching. Click like on the video and subscribe. Okay, we're not quite done here. This piece right here goes in like this. Little hole, little bit of space towards this end, lots of space, and then the right side of it facing towards the center of the fridge. This is plastic or some kind of a material anyways, but you can clean it with a wire brush or green pad and hot soapy water. Give it a quick scrub and it cleans up. So let's stick it in here and see if we can get this thing all back together. Okay, you want to put in the left screw first. It'll be at an angle, and then you push this hinge over, and while you're doing that, then you put in the other screw. So that's the only way to do it. Okay, you want to just make sure that your door is squarely aligned here. The final last trick is, before you tighten up these screws all the way, push this all the way in, and then tighten the screws. Gives you extra, and that gets you all the way in. And then use a final tightening when you're all done doing both doors. Nip them down with a 3/8 wrench, because you can get a little more torque. And don't go too crazy. These threads up into here are not good. They're sometimes done really bad. So anyways, that's one door all done. The should sound like this when it opens, and boom. So there we go. So let me see. So she works really good, and you can hear that. That's the gasket, because the surface of the gasket, I cleaned it when I washed the door, and I washed the door frame, so your magnet can, you know, get a real good grip, and you can feel the suction, and it's magnet. You can feel the magnetism. You make sure your door edge is all squared up, and that's it. And good to go. Now let's do the other hinge. All right, click like on the video and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, it's cleanup time on this one. Right one, cartridge is out. She's all nasty. One was so scrubby. You can just drop these plastic things in the sink. Pull them out while you're cleaning, and it'll drop into the sink. That's another one. Then clean it at the same time you're scrubbing. So that's a good way to do that. Okay. Just a little tip, when you wash the door and everything over here in the sink area, dry it off too over here in the sink area. This is the easiest spot because everything's you're at waist height here, so you can dry all the door, flip it over, spin it around, you know, so dry the whole door off here while it's in the sink area. Don't do it when you're trying to be over on the door. You're putting stress on the hinge and pain in the ass over there. Just do it here while you're at workbench height, you know. Tip of the day. Okay, you got to watch out for this too on the bottom. See if you can see this, but see how the door is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's moving back and forth. That white washer I think might be worn out. Gotta check that out. See what's going on. Yep. And the other, this one, that one that comes with the kit is too big. Okay, well, this is the door hinges I'm doing. Anyways, I wanted to try and get, because these door hinges were hitting real bad, even with the new hinges. So basically what I found out is that this fridge being smushed in this hole all the years or whatever, the bottom needed kicked out just a little bit. So I loosened these up. There's 2 bolts under here, 3/8 bolts, and hit it with a crescent wrench and kind of made it so it sticks out proud just a little, just a smidge that way. And same on the other side. Give it a little bit of a kick. So the door actually sits proud of the wall, and now I got a nice gap. I want this gap. It's minimum at the bottom, but it's mucho at the top, and it's good. I mean, everything. So that's the way I want it. So even when the hinges wear out, it's not hitting again, you know. And also I do something else here too. As you'll notice, there's a double stack of, see, I use the old metal piece as a spacer, and I like doing that because I notice without it, it's yanking the door up and pulling up on that cartridge a whole lot. And I don't think that's good for that cartridge. So this way, it rides real, you know, real nice. The door's not being yanked up, you know. And there's door's a lot snugger. Everything's a lot tighter with the door, and she still closes like a big dog, you know. So so I just wanted to mention that to you, that I like doing the double metal stack and the plastic spacer, and that way you're not pulling the door up on that cartridge. Okay, all right, click like on the video, subscribe.